Hey kids, this is Aaron from the podcast That Wouldn't Die, and Kevin and I use Zencastr. You think you're better than us, that you're using something else? You're wrong. Zencastr's the place to be. Who are you to deny it?
It's now super easy to record a podcast with Zencastr. Log in using your browser and start recording a high-quality podcast right away. Record studio-quality sound and up to 4K video with your guests. Go to zencastr.com/pricing and use our code DIEHARD and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. We want you to have the same experiences we do for all our podcasting and content needs. It's time for you to share your story.
Only a fool will give up a chance for a 30% discount.
It all began in a peaceful community, a place that had never known evil until now. But 20 years ago, in the stillness beneath these waters, something happened. And now, its deadly spawn has been released, coming up from the depths, out into the light. Slugs.
Welcome to the latest episode of the podcast That Wouldn't Die. I'm your host, Kevin. With me, as always, is Aaron.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
This week, we're doing the horror classic Slugs, starring some actors. How about that?
Some of them may be Italian, some of them might be Spanish.
Some may be. It's unclear.
One might even be an American, but you'll never know.
But you'll never know. It's like the Pepsi challenge. Who could be sure? You know what I'm saying? It's all a mystery. Each week on the podcast that Wouldn't Die, we discuss guilty pleasures and forgotten classics of the horror and sci-fi genres with a comedic twist. Aaron, what's the latest with you?
Oh, let's see. I had dinner at 4:45, and I think I'm ready for bed.
I thought that was the name of like an exclusive club. I had dinner at 4:45 next to Studio 54.
Only. It is very exclusive. It is some old, like a Weight Watcher recipe that William found and then only used part of the ingredients. So it's just a horrific mess, but at least it's finished.
Well, that's something. Becky had me go out and get pita chips and artichoke dip for like a meeting that she was having at school. I don't know if it was a staff meeting,
Yummers,
or a PTA meeting. It sounds delicious until her husband left the artichoke dip in the trunk of my car overnight. And then it's like, do we just roll the dice? And believe it or not,
we do. Sometimes we do.
We rolled the dice, and let's just say it came up snake eyes. Everyone to craft out, if you will. So,
but you knew better than to eat it. So you basically poisoned your wife's department. Is that it? The PTA is PTO.
In retrospect, Becky thinks maybe she's the only one who had some.
Because she knew the psychological welfare, or what was going on, and forced her to tell. I guarantee you, your wife, I've seen your wife, she ate a single pita chip and slightly dipped one corner into it, and then immediately became violent ill because she knew it had been like rotting on your dashboard. Meanwhile, everybody else was up to their elbows swimming in artichoke dip and slept like babies.
100%. Well, it was basically she basically took one chip and kind of waved it over just to get just a hint of the musk of that good rancid artichoke dip from Costco.
And then you had a pumper full of like charcoal for the food poisoning.
No question. The rice method, right? What is it called? The rice? I don't know. That's something totally unrelated.
That's where it's the plain rice, it's the banana, it's all things that I hate diet. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna have a chili chile and I'll just shit myself clean.
Like why not prescribe old rancid artichoke dip before you go get your insides checked out?
Honestly,
right? That'll
God,
clean you right out.
For someone who has had a colonoscopy, preferred method. Preferred to have clear mayonnaise on a hot day than it is to drink that chug-a-lug toxic poison that rips right through you.
Clear mayonnaise on a hot day. That image will stay with you. Let me tell you. Sweet Jesus. On that lovely note, anything else going on with you? Or do you want to, should we circulate and luxuriate on this a little more?
Let's luxuriate on rancid food.
Please.
How about eggs? Do you also leave eggs? I once left a Costco pack of mushrooms in the back of my car for a month.
Oh no, that's bad.
I couldn't figure out what this. It was like a freshly dug grave was out of the back of my Chevy Lumina. And the trunk is so big that literally, I also, same car, pulled out a gallon of milk.
Oh no.
That was like a tick set to pop. There was 12 layers of I don't know, stalactites, stalagmites in the milk.
Yep.
And I shamefully just took it out and dropped it in a shopping cart and drove off because it was set to go any moment.
It was a ticking time bomb.
Sorry, bag boy, who had to go out and deal with that.
It was an IED. Like you gotta run from those.
Tick tock tick. I was like, oh shit. Plus it's been rolling around. It's a wonder that we are alive today.
Somebody told me, or I read this on the internet, so take it with a grain of salt, that eggs are actually okay just sitting on the counter as long as you don't wash them. Like there's some kind of enzyme
in
on
Europe,
the shell.
They do not refrigerate their eggs.
They don't. We talked about this. In Europe, they do not refrigerate milk. They just put it on your doorstep in the blazing sun for James Franciscus.
That's only in Tenebrae. In the rest of Europe, and you go to the grocery store, they refrigerate their milk.
I don't
it's
believe
only
it.
that after-sex hot milk in little bags from Tenebrae. Get out of here. Europe supermarkets are just like ours, only better.
I don't believe it. How about that?
Yeah. How about that?
How about that? In any case, I should mention the reason why we're doing Slugs, although it does seem right up our alley, is we were invited on. One would think we were invited on the lovely podcast, the podcast in the woods, to talk about Slugs.
I thought you were telling me it's literally called the Lovely Podcast, like the Lovely Bones or something.
It's the Lovely Bones, 100%. And as you know, if we go on a podcast to talk about a particular film, we're gonna drag that, we're gonna exhume that corpse and have our way with it one more time for your benefit as well.
We're gonna crack that bone with our teeth and suck out the marrow.
Indeed. Indeed. It'll smell like Aaron's old Chevy Lumina before we're done. Am I right or am I right?
R.I.P.
Sweet Jesus. On that lovely note, now everything's lovely. Give us your 30-second synopsis of Slugs.
Slugs appear and they have a hanker for a chunka, a slice of chunka, a hanker for a hunk of meat. And there's lots of them. And they want to eat everyone in the town. And people are not fond of that. So Mr. Brady, I don't know what happened to Mrs. Brady or the rest of the kids.
Mike Brady! His name is Mike Brady! What is happening? Go ahead.
Dude, and it was clearly named during a time when the Brady Bunch was a real thing.
Of course.
So I'm guessing it's a vendetta film because all the 6 little Bradys and Alice and Florence Henderson, R.I.P.
Yep.
So they figure out the slugs are coming from the sewer, from nuclear waste, a trash dump. I couldn't remember. And they're going to throw some poison on him and light him on fire. The end.
Now, I think I know the answer to this. Had you ever seen this before or even heard of this before?
Never. Never.
Now, I distinctly remember the VHS box in the video store of Slugs. Like I
Do you
remember
remember the
there's two
cover? Like the head
it's
slugs?
back in the day, you could go to your warehouse or your 99-cent video or whatever, and you'd see all host of random type films. So there's two primary covers that were both familiar to me. There's the one where it's like a guy's skull is looking up, like screaming. Like you can see, like his face is still there, but the slugs are kind of, I guess, picking the bone clean, essentially. That's one. The other one is like a woman dead on the floor in a puddle of blood with a slug kind of trailing away. Those are the two I recall.
All good images.
All
I'm
good
assuming
images.
it's the naked lady who's covered in blood with a random slugs placed around her.
Oh God. Okay, let me just say this. I
I
had
mean, at
never
least
seen this before.
she did have a good ass, even though there was a slug on it.
Never seen this movie. But I have to say, this was a movie, and this has happened to me before, where I just felt bad for the actors. I felt bad for the
They
actors.
seem miserable.
I don't blame them, because there's a lot of scenes of here's a scantily clad individual, lay on the ground. I'm gonna slop some marinara on you to simulate blood, and then I'm gonna put about 50 real slugs on you to crawl
And
around.
by
How's that sound?
scantily clad, we mean naked. And if
Mhm.
you wouldn't mind, just roll around on these live slugs.
It was gross. It was gross. We've watched Fulci films that did not give me the reflex, the vomit reflex like this one did. I was just like, oh, Jesus. Not that the effects looked great, but it was just, I kept picturing what these poor actors.
How horrible was it to be on the set?
100%. 100%. Where it's like literally multiple times. Like woman, and we have to talk about this. A woman escapes 2 times of being sexually assaulted in the forest.
Yes.
Like one by her obsessive boyfriend who gets pissed off, calls her a tease. And then another dude puts on a skull mask and is like, okay, we're in the forest anyway. Let's do this. Tries to get at her. She only escapes by jumping in the sewer hole and is killed by the slugs. And rapist number 1, rapist number 2, scot-free, never a callback. There's nobody in handcuffs. Moving
Lesson, do not, let's see, this is filmed in Madrid and Lyon. Don't go walking at night, kids, unless you got some ninja action.
If only. If only, if only. Sweet Jesus. Let's just jump in to the highlights as they were. Aaron, what do you got?
The highlights. I have a series of complaints. Do you want me to hold back on that?
Yes, start with your checklist of complaints.
All right. So my checklist of complaints were at one point we see these young swinging folks at a cocktail bar. Whatever. One couple goes back. She puts on her sexy lingerie, and the boyfriend says, "Very butch." I don't think they know what butch meant. I mean, if she came in with like leather pants and maybe a cut-off shirt sleeve with a dildo to give him one to, maybe very butch would be appropriate, but
Fair.
not in lingerie. I think there was a translation kerfuffle.
Perhaps. Unclear. That was Mike Brady's big line, by the way. His big sex scene. Good stuff.
Oh my God. Poor Michael B.
Michael B. Let me say
what
this.
About the big chunks of meat in the sewer? Like literally it's just skinned.
Yes.
If the slugs were eating it, Why would it look just like skin things?
The sanitation worker, ostensibly like the co-protagonist for a lot of this movie, he goes down into the sewer to clean out like a drain. He's got a little scooper pulling stuff out, just crap, and then pulls out big chunks of meat of indeterminate, who knows what this meat's from. He does not blink, does not go, oh shit. There's not like, oh damn, what am I finding? What is this all? Nothing. He just like keeps scooping it. He's like, oh, interesting.
Not again.
Not again. That's how they do it in Seville, evidently. Let me go back to the beginning. Slugs.
Well, the beginning of a dude in a slop house throwing his trash in his basement, which is full of slugs. That beginning.
Yes. That beginning. He's right. Because you said this, that they kind of yada why they're man-eating slugs. They kind of suggest that there was, because the town is built on a landfill for toxic waste, and they clipped the corner of it during recent construction, something along those lines. And then
the corner of a landfill,
because it's under, and this happens like in Irvine, we have like a golf course on top of what used to be a landfill. And I guess
every now and then, when they drill the holes for the tee, a monster crawls.
Yes, a scary black slug crawls out.
Brady.
I think what it is, and I'm not an engineer, I don't know all this. They basically seal like all of the all the refuse in kind of an oversized like container or something. Essentially,
when like a Rubbermaid container.
It is.
What containers are they sealing our toxic waste in when they build a town on top of it?
The bottom is kind of like covered in rubber or something along those lines. So then they put the trash.
I have heard of such things to protect the groundwater. And it always seems to be a problem. And the reason we know about it for all the times they leak.
100%. So then they put some kind of covering on top, and then they put dirt or whatever.
A layer of slugs. A layer of slugs to break it down.
Because like I said, it was like a throwaway line by Mike Brady based upon not much. And that was it. You expected like a Chud-like reveal, right? Where they find the government files. Shit, they've been doing these kind of experiments for years. Something along those lines.
Right.
No. It was a throwaway comment.
The Chud was down below, and Q the winged serpent was above.
You know what? Now you're talking my language.
Now we're something. Now we got something here.
The first homie is killed. The first homeless squatter is killed off camera, but they find the body. For some reason, I don't know how what drove them to the flop house.
An early episode of Hoarders.
Yes. Oh God, we have to talk about this. Did you notice that the soundtrack? I kept going, this music is so familiar to me. It's the exact same soundtrack from Airplane.
No.
It is.
Shut your mouth.
It is.
Shut your mouth.
It is. I looked it up. It's basically, Airplane chose it on purpose. Basically, it's from like this kind of stock music warehouse thing. Basically, you can go, just like stock photos you can purchase. You could also purchase stock
Ed
music.
Wood made whole films using stock footage.
100%. So they could also do stock music. So Airplane chose it like as a deliberate kind of lark, essentially.
Yes.
Slugs, this is what was in their budget. They weren't hiring Elmer Bernstein to handle this shit.
Anything in the public domain is that their kind of music.
100%. But it's really kind of shocking because you're like, God, because it's something you've heard before, but you can't place it, is what it is for like 90% of the movie. Because it has a certain kind of after-school special kind of quality to it. Honestly.
I literally have no memory of it. It was so impactful to me. For all I know, there was no music.
So the dude dies. off camera. They discover the body, and this is the first time where I'm like, oh, they're gonna make me sick with this shit. Because the close-up of a gross, like obviously fake skull, but they slimed it up and then put like worms like flopping around and like a slug crawling around.
And I read they threw in some juvenile eels just for fun.
Well, okay. These goddamn slugs. First of all, they're carnivorous, right? Not just like they slither over you. They literally have a mouth. There's a little mouth that pops out because Mike Brady's wife is like picking weeds in her fruit garden or whatever it is. And she sees these slugs, and they're real slugs. They're like 6 inches black and slimy and scary. I guess they're native to Spain somewhere.
All right.
So
we have those up at Humboldt. They're 6 to 7 inches, but they're bright yellow.
The banana slugs, right?
The banana slugs. I don't believe they are carnivorous.
Don't talk so soon. You never know. So he reaches down to get the slug, and the crazy like finger puppet goes with like a mouth, tries to bite him. He's like, oh shit. So they will just chew on, they'll physically eat you. But they have like the scientist guy who also says, and their slime is toxic. If you get too much of the slime on you, that will kill you. Later,
well, not only that, like then they carry a bacteria that will make your head explode. Also, so don't eat them. Don't let them eat you.
And
die or die.
A truly revolting scene. Truly revolting. The lady, she's got a head of like romaine lettuce or some shit. She's like tosses it in the sink, and the audience can see there's a little like slug crawling around in it. She picks it up, does not wash it, does not wash her lettuce like a normal person would do. She puts it on the counter, takes a big old knife, and just starts chopping it. Chopping it. And we can see that she's dicing this slug in the thing for the sound that she's
delicacy
making.
In many countries. Just not particularly this mutant one.
Clearly not. No one seems to notice that she's made a salad with chunks of slug in it. They eat it, and the husband's like, delicious. Oh, I got a little indigestion. Didn't she eat the same goddamn salad? Because she offered no ill effects at all. She's like,
It's like Becky and the artichoke dip.
It is 100%. So you're like, so it was like a slug.
Was there a little slug in there? There was a touch of slug.
Could be, but it's like a slug gonna crawl out of this dude later.
He pushed through his chest like Alien.
That's what I was wondering, right? Something along those lines. Instead, he's out because he's a businessman of some type. He's like trying to smooth the clients who are going to come do something like in their town or whatever. He immediately starts having seizures. He's grabbing his face, and his eyeball pops out and his head explodes in the most disgusting fashion.
At a restaurant.
In a restaurant, people are screaming and running around, and they zoom in, and again, worms flopping around. They take it to the scientist who says, oh yes, these are blood flukes, which are commonly a parasite, yet another deadly parasite found in the body of slugs. Good stuff.
Don't eat them. Don't eat them.
In case you were thinking about it, don't do it. So back to you. What else you got, Aaron?
I got some stuff. At one point, you see a homie in his greenhouse bitching and moaning about his wife, as one did in the 70s and 80s. My mean old wife. So anyway, of course, there's a slug in the greenhouse. He also has it filled with some kind of acid, which he then throws on the ground. It hisses. Okay. Weird. And then like 3 slugs get on him and knock him to the ground because they maybe 6 inches. And we've had this discussion about cats, various monsters that propel themselves at you that are 3 inches tall that yet somehow you can't shake free. Basically, he puts his glove on and there's a slug in there. And he's basically about to chop his old arm off to free himself because he can't fucking walk out of the greenhouse and say, "Wife, something is biting my hand."
Again, we cannot stress that these slugs are 6 inches long and thick as hell. So you think the moment you put your hand in the glove, you'd be like, whoa, what's that? No. He puts the glove on, starts doing some gardening, and then it's a 3 Mississippi. He's like, whoa, something's biting me. Like it just snuck out of nowhere.
100%. Where was the glove? Because clearly he couldn't have put it in his finger because the slug is 6 inches long.
Correct.
So where was the slug in this glove? Makes no goddamn sense, but rest assured, the man is dead. And I don't know, the whole fucking place blew up. Slugs mixed with acid and brain sauce causes an explosion.
Correct. That's how they do it. That's how they do it in Spain. Oh, sweet Jesus. I almost forgot about that scene. You're right. He starts chopping he can't get the glove off. Ah! Ah! His wife's like,
walk out of the greenhouse. Walk out. Walk out.
His wife is turning up the music, getting the vacuum ready. She's pounding boards, playing the drums. What is she doing?
Why is he unable to get the glove off? You can't pull that off. The thing is busy chomping your finger. Pull the glove off.
Can't do it. If the glove don't fit, you must acquit.
You must.
There's, oh God, in another truly revolting scene, there is the love scene between the 35-year-old high school students where the dude who's got the hair like William Catt and Carrie, they're getting in.
Billy Cat to the insiders.
100%. Back in the day, he was Billy all the way. They start getting down to biz, but he cannot consummate because it's just one of those things. So he's like reaching for his whiskey bottle. Oh, I just need a little more energy.
She's like, don't stop. He's like, give me a fucking break.
Give me a minute. And then they turn around, and of course, there's 10,000 slugs all over the floor. She falls on the ground.
There's still slugs.
Yes.
I mean, walk out, climb back on the bed. I feel like there's options.
Can't do it. Can't do it. She is, again, dipped in marinara with slugs all over her. Real slugs. Most of the
time. Later on,
yes,
the slugs are coming up into the sink of Florence Henderson's sink.
Yep.
And Mike just simply taps them with a fry pan, which causes them to explode. So you couldn't have just walked hard across that floor and just popped them because they pop like a grape.
Let me also say, adding on to that, there was no notation at the end of this movie that said no animals were harmed during the course of this movie. They were killing.
Dude, Profunda Rosa. Europe is a different thing.
It's a different thing. He took a frying pan and was smashing those things. You could tell, oh yeah, they're just killing these slugs in the sink. That's just gross.
But does animal imply mammal? Because they're not mammals.
I believe you cannot. Well,
can we get Peter on the phone for that?
I mean, I guess you can do whatever you want. But if you want the
you're not going to get the seal.
That's correct. I think that's what it. Now, make no mistake.
You know the ASPCA at their kennels is putting something to keep the rats down.
No, they do not.
They're not capturing them and then putting them up for adoption, along with all the fleas on the dogs and cats.
Yes, If you go to the ASPCA, they have swamp rats. You can, as long as you pay the vaccination, you can have any kind of horrifying vermin that you can take home.
They have just buckets full of like nutria.
100%.
Capybara, yes. It's all around there.
But there's another scene, speaking of more animal cruelty. Again, this isn't Cannibal Holocaust, but just
it is not.
It is not. But there's a scene, there's multiple scenes where they have like the real slug. Here's the scientist, and you see him literally cut the slug in half. And I'm like, that's a really realistic looking slug that he's cutting in half.
Yeah.
A little too realistic, some would argue.
Yeah, like I said, perhaps different rules in pre-EU Europe.
Who's to say? Who's to say? Oh, sweet Jesus.
It's a different culture, Kevin. Don't be racist.
It's a different... All cultures are beautiful. I think we can all agree on that, especially the ones that kill slugs for our entertainment.
It's a very rare slug culture.
So the girl who had just finished having sex was being eaten by the slugs, and they put this shitty appliance on her face that I guess was supposed to be her skull. Like the slugs had eaten half her head. It looked like something out of Spirit Halloween. It looked a little rough.
It looked like Thrifty's departments, or Thrifty's, what is it? What is
Drug and discount store where value buys you more.
Where you go for your discount Halloween kind of crappy costume, because that's where that came from. Spirit's too expensive.
No, it's still disgusting.
And even though her skull is supposedly exposed and her eyes popped out, she's still like looking at her boyfriend going, "Brother Bear, come shave me." And then he falls dick first into another pile of them, and that's the end of him.
He does. It was like there was that Netflix I guess it was like a game show called The Floor is Lava. That was on for like the first year of the pandemic, where people were just like, I have no idea. Let's just do whatever. Do whatever you want. The floor is lava. He half-assed tried to rescue her, and then he's like, F it. He's reaching across, trying to bang on I don't know what the hell he's doing with the window. And then just literally, like he says, dick first. Run into some slugs. Ball game. Bye-bye.
The most half-assed attempt at rescue you deserve. It's a Darwin Award winner.
100%.
He did not deserve to spread that seed. No.
No.
God took it away from him.
This movie also had aspects that were clearly meant to be kind of a Jaws ripoff, where it's like, the mayor's trying to keep it quiet because he's got a business deal. The head of the Department of Water is telling him to F off. The sheriff is
off, brother.
Right.
Yeah, the sheriff.
Everybody's against him. Mike was, and they act like Mike just came in off the street. He was the county health inspector. They made a point to say, I'm the county. I'm not just some dude. I'm not like a hippie that was sleeping on the beach last week. Okay. I
have a real job.
I have degrees on my wall, damn it. But no one wanted
and these slugs are unhealthy. Hence my purview.
There's a scene at that Italian restaurant where the dude's head exploded. The sheriff's like, do we need to close this place down? Did the slugs come from the food? And Mike's like, I have no idea. I just got here 5 minutes ago. They're like yelling at each other. Meanwhile, the stereotypical Italian like restaurant owner, the maitre d', is like waving his hands. Oh, what do I do?
Oh, yeah. Cazzo! He's like, I was like, now I understand. He's speaking perfect Italian, all swear words. Perfect.
We haven't mentioned.
Go ahead. I mean, your description of it is much funnier than the actual witnessing of it.
Fair. That's what I do. That's what I bring to the show. If I just kind of said it
You're bringing the flavor. You're bringing the
flavor. A little spice, if you will. A pinch of spice.
This thing needs to get spiced up a little bit. Here's a question. How do the slugs know where to go? Because they seem to be very selective and only show up to houses that are full of people.
That's a good question. Mike said, I love what I'm on a first name basis. Old Mike and I go way back. He talked about it was just one part of town that had the slugs coming out of the toilet, slugs coming out of the drain or the faucet. Other
If it was
people, it's
coming
fine.
out of everybody's house in one part of town, the phones would be lit up. They're only coming to the houses of the people involved in the story.
Well, and people we don't give a shit about, honestly. It's like, okay, so this dude's
Yes.
dead. There was one scene where it was like no preamble unless I fell asleep, where it cuts to like a barn. And inside the barn are like 10,000 heads of lettuce and a bunch of slugs crawling around. And then there's just a skeleton, a bloody skeleton laying there whose chest just explodes like a big fountain of water. And the dog barks outside. Moving on. I don't know. Did I miss this character? Is this somebody I'm supposed to care about? Is this just the warehouse where they keep the heads of lettuce? What is going on?
We don't care about anybody here.
No.
There's always a classic line. Michael B. gave the "I'm not insane." If you have to scream that throughout the movie, maybe you are.
It's not the most convincing, is it? Screaming, I'm not crazy.
I put down the phone. I'm not insane.
Don't you call the cops? Yeah, it was. The funny thing is, the investors whoever they were, the people who wanted to build whatever they wanted to build, had literally just seen a dude's head explode and his eyeball fall out the day before. And a guy comes in and says, hey, the town is built on a landfill and there are killer slugs roaming around. And they're like, what are you talking? Is this guy crazy? Let's just sign the paperwork now, shall we?
But for all we know, they're there to build a slug farm. We don't know what their plan is.
That would be a twist, right? We put the slugs here.
They rip off their faces, and they're the two aliens from The Simpsons. That would be perfect.
Or they're giant slug people. How about this? These are their babies.
They rip off their face, and it's just a slug head with the big eyes coming out.
It writes itself, although sadly not. Anyway.
I think we were too young to slap up the script, but you know, Kevin and I are always available. Hollywood, we'll fix your script.
If only. They decide to kill the slugs by there's some kind of sodium solution that when you sprinkle it on the slugs, or frankly any moisture at all, it explodes in flames. So
because they went back to the old thing that you sprinkle salt on slugs, and that's how you kill them.
But it's a special kind that explodes, and
it's a special exploding salt for slugs.
And the scientist is like, I will brew up this concoction in 5 minutes. Because we don't know if you can just use regular slug bait. Is that we can't try that first? Do we have to brew up some crazy explosive shit? The maintenance worker literally says, "Let me get this straight. We're bringing down an explosive that reacts to moisture, and we're bringing it into the sewer. Is that the plan?" And Mike Brady's like, "Yeah, we have to risk it." And he's like, "Okay, I'm in." This is a horrible plan, like a ridiculously horrible plan. Anyway.
According to the interweb, salt does not cause them to explode, but beer traps or much more. If you can merge strange brew with slugs, another might be onto something.
We might be onto something. The two heroes wander around the sewers for God knows how long, with the slugs fricking everywhere. And at one point they're like, "Oh, we're trapped. What do we do?" And they're like, "I guess just run over them as fast as we can." And they do.
What does it even have to be fast? Because they're going to fly through the air?
Could be.
Just go forward, just back up, go back and forth, roll up your windows. That's my recommendation. Because they're not doing anything supernatural.
No.
They're not flying through the air.
No.
They are not opening doors. They're just they drip through the sink and lie there and wait for you to fall and roll around on them.
They're slugs doing slug shit, right? If you don't
Later
lay on the
you
ground,
see them dragging. You do see them dragging people off, but of course we never quite see them doing it. We see legs disappear, so that's a bunch of horseshit.
Yes. Well, there was a scene. There was a scene where the I don't know, the head of the water department of the city, like, he's about to go. I guess he went to the toilet because they established like the lid is bubbling because it's full of slugs. And his secretary comes back from her lunch and finds this poor old bastard who is probably 85 years old, laying on the ground with his shirt open. Again, some chunky style salsa smeared on there, some slugs, and they couldn't show it for very long because his stomach was obviously just moving because he was just breathing. Like he was supposed to be dead.
Any longer.
He was doing his best.
Oh, God bless him.
We've mentioned we mentioned that this is a Spanish film. So if you're watching, there's a lot of horrible dubbing, which we love on the podcast that wouldn't die.
They are clearly speaking English, though.
Some
it must be just with, but I mean, everyone I looked at, and I kept studying them, they were clearly speaking English, but it must have been just like the worst English with the worst accent.
I think Mike is American. I think Mike the main dude is American. Some of the other guys, it's questionable.
No.
It's questionable.
No. I think almost everybody else is Italian and Spanish. I did some... Oh, I have the hiccups. I did some Googling.
My favorite scene was at the end. The two guys are in the sewer and they're like, okay, we have to go this way to get out. And they come into this room and there's a big pool that I guess we're just supposed to assume is just full of slugs. And they're like, oh my God, we can't go this way. But the slugs are coming down the way and they're going to get them from behind. The sanitation worker does something that causes water to smash into him and falls into the pool where he's splashing around with the slugs.
Something over. Why don't they just wiggle around the sides? There were shelves that you could very carefully wiggle around to get to the ladder. But we're not going to do that. We're going to whack a hole in the wall, not knowing what is on the other side.
Correct.
Well, which is apparently... and they're like, oh, we can't go back. I'm like, what the f*** you can't go back? The slugs aren't going anywhere. You just walk through them with no ill effect whatsoever, carrying a bag of old meat. I don't know if it's the old dude, but he's got a hefty bag, which is apparently full of meat.
Which served no purpose. He threw it like, hey, throw the meat over there and maybe the slugs will swim over there and I guess we'll swim the other way. I don't know what his plan was. It was a horrible idea.
It was all horrible ideas. Why did they have to walk through the sewer and not just meet the dude at the manhole cover? What was the purpose of walking through the sewer where the dude who has the chemicals is on the outside?
Yes. Unclear. Unclear.
Okay.
It's starting to come together. I think the old bag of meat was supposed to be the bait, and that's why the slugs were following them, I guess. But weren't they?
They were already there. They don't appear to be following them at all.
100%. 100%. Homie gets knocked in, and the guy's like, oh my God, what do I do? Oh, here's a pipe that goes all the way across it that has heretofore never been identified. He's hanging upside down like Tarzan by his ankles.
Didn't both of those jackasses just go across that to get to the ladder?
Oops. Of course. Oops. It was a big oops. Luckily, the one dude, Mike, makes it through. They pump the explosives down in there, blow up all the slugs and half the town. Like manhole covers are exploding, cars are exploding, homes are exploding.
I believe you're missing some things.
First
of all, how about there isn't a good eye pop? You forgot about that.
Multiple eye pops.
What about the electrocution thing that
Yep.
only affects the slugs, even though they are also standing in the water?
Correct. That's a good question. They did
No
that
ill
too.
effect. It was freaking ridiculous.
Yes.
Yeah. So everything blows up. Yada yada yada. The sheriff's helping them out. Yada yada yada. Oop. There's one slug left, and as we learn, they are hermaphrodites.
Yes. They can fertilize their own eggs. So you're
Slug
screwed.
is it time for Slugs the Revenge? Slugs 3D.
Still slugging after all these years.
Still slugging after all these years. Yep. And it's filmed in Lyon. Isn't it weird that it looked just like an American city?
Well, there's some behind the scenes we're going to talk about
All
on
right.
this.
I did some Googling, but apparently there's Googling and then there's Googling. I got nothing else to say about this movie.
Well, why don't we move on down the road to behind the scenes?
All right.
This movie was banned in the Australian state of Queensland until the early 90s when the Queensland Censorship Board was disbanded. How about that?
Before that, it was only you could only watch like The Sound of Music and the Queen's speeches. That's
it. That's all you can do. This is the first and only film based on a novel by splatterpunk horror writer Sean Hudson, who
Have
remarked,
you read this?
I have not. Hey, book club. He says, do yourself a favor and don't bother watching it. It's awful. How about that?
They should have put that right on the poster.
He has since said that he has a soft spot for it and he considers it a guilty pleasure.
And
How
he
about
did
that?
like the check he got for the adaptation.
Absolutely. I don't like the movie, but I like the house it built. Came out a year after a movie that it's often mistaken for, a movie called The Nest, which is about cockroaches taking over a town in a similar fashion.
Ooh.
How
Now
about
cockroaches, that does not please me. Slugs, who gives a shit? I'll be putting on my boots and stomping them.
I'm right there with you. Again, these slugs are creepy looking like that. But if this was all giant roaches, I probably couldn't watch it. I'd be out.
No.
This movie was chosen to be part of the famous German "The Worst Movies of All Time" series. How about that? That's
the
something.
Germans have a lot to say about things that are terrible.
One thing that I saw on Wikipedia is that often the same places, like the same settings, look different from scene to scene because half the time they were filmed in the United States and half the time it was filmed in Spain.
Oh, boo! I Googled it and it said interior scenes Madrid, exterior scenes Lyon.
So,
House of Lies.
House of Lies!
Damn you, AI. Again. Screwed me again.
Let's talk about the cast and crew, shall we? I think this is going to be a quick conversation.
You got something to say?
Director was Juan Piquer Simon. You know him from such
that
things.
Years of Spanish that you took. It's just really rolling off your tongue.
You like that? He's sometimes credited as J.P. Simon.
Oh, Jesus.
You know him from... he wrote The Rift in 1990. Unfamiliar?
Nope.
Wrote and directed Slugs in 1988. Something called The Supersonic Man in 1979. And in 1981, something called Mystery on Monster Island. How about that?
Monster Party.
If only.
Yeah, unfamiliar. Monster Island. Is that a Godzilla film he directed?
It could be. Let's see. Michael Garfield Levine played Mike Brady, our protagonist. You know him from The Warriors in 1979.
I saw that.
Isn't that interesting? Playing Rogue. I'm not sure I
And
remember.
about 900 episodes of Law and Order.
Well, one episode of Law and Order Special Victims Unit in 2003, one episode of Law and Order Criminal Intent in 2004, and Slugs in 1988. How about that?
How about that?
Yeah,
And he's on Instagram, and believe it or not, we have more followers than he does.
he literally was on. He did 10 things. That's the length and breadth of his career. I could read it all. He was in 3 episodes of Another World. He was in a TV movie
Oh,
called
Mom used to watch that.
Take My Daughters, Please.
Please.
He was in 1 episode of Empty Nest, 1 episode of As the World Turns, 1 episode of The
Oh, these are
Sopranos.
all old. Oh, The Sopranos. I mean, that's old now too.
And 4 episodes of Law and Order from 95 to 2004. And that is it.
That's not a lot.
But you know what? I often said he's obviously.
You figure he's living off that Slugs money?
He's got that good Slugs money. Am I right? No, yeah. I always say it's like if you have one of these movies on your shelf, I think that would be fun. I think that would be a hoot, as long as you're not trying to be an actor, right? If this is your career,
it would be okay for us.
Yes, it would be. Do you want to know about any of the other actors in this?
Well, I've heard of anything that any of them have done.
We can roll the dice and find out. You want to try it?
Dude, I was looking at him. I'm like, this dude is a total Spaniard. This one might be Italian. It's like there was a very Spanish-looking cast. That's for sure.
Well, let's look at this. If I just stick to the characters who have pictures, or the actors who have pictures.
let's at least focus on pictures. You've been around long enough that someone has taken your picture.
Alicia Morrow, you know her. She played, and of course it just jumped right off my screen.
Who played the blonde chick? She was very attractive.
Alicia Morrow played Maureen Watson. She was the drunk lady whose husband's head exploded in the Italian restaurant. You know her from The Exterminators of the Year 3000 in 1983. How about that?
All right.
In 1988, she was in Dark Mission Evil Flowers. You know it, don't you?
Dark Mission Evil Flowers.
She was in 9 episodes of the TV series Tres Estrellas, which means 3 stars.
Okay.
And in 1988, she was Rita Miller in Edge of the Axe, which is a slasher film, evidently.
It does seem like that's what that would be. So Total Stranger.
Total Stranger, yeah. I'm looking at all. She was in 16 things in her career, last in 2003.
All right.
So
bless
there
her.
you go. I think I've heard of Edge of the Axe, though, if I'm being honest.
Stop lying. Stop fucking lying, Kevin.
Concha Cuetos played Maria Palmer. She was the wife of the sanitation worker who had an accent. Like, she was clearly speaking English, clearly had an accent. So it was like she could speak English, accented English, which is more than some of these actors, clearly. You know her from Farmacia de Guardia. 161 episodes of that TV series in Spain. How about that?
All right.
She was in Extraterrestrial Visitors in 1983.
So basically, all these people are from Spain's Splat Squad.
Could be. She was in something called The Conspiracy in 2008. And Estudio Uno, 17 episodes of Estudio Uno.
And literally, she was in this film for about 4 minutes.
Yes, she was. I'm going to pick one more actor here, and then we'll move on with our lives. I feel like I have to do the other. Philip McHale played Don Palmer, who was a sanitation worker. He does not have a picture, but I'm rolling the dice here. Let's see what we got. Because I think he was an American, too.
I was gonna say he was like most people say. I was like in sanitation. I thought he was gonna say most people say I'm in the mafia, but that's not what he said.
He did not say
He
that, I'm
said
sad
something
to
like
say.
he stirs the poo or something.
He was in one episode of the TV miniseries Chiefs in 1983. You know it, don't you?
Unfamiliar.
And he was in 17 episodes of One Life to Live playing Tony Harris Lord II, or maybe
Dude, I
just the
love
second actor.
the only Americans are the kings of the soap opera
Yep.
because we only have one life to
To
live.
live.
Cannon. I used to watch that, one of my many soaps.
Let's see. He was in Slugs in 1988. He was in Somerset in 1976, 2 episodes playing David Grant. Are you familiar with Somerset?
No, was it a soap?
I don't know what the hell it is. A TV series of some sort.
All I have to do is hear the word summer, and I assume it's the Summer Isles. Someone's going to be burned to death. It's just a matter of time. Did I tell you I just got a package from A24 because I ordered a patch of Midsummer?
Oh, for reals?
They had like a movie review book. That's really what I bought. When it arrived, it looked like a piece of crap. It does not look like the $16 that I anticipated.
Well, that's a sad, sad situation.
But at least I have my Midsummer patch.
I think that's all we need to know about this cast and crew. Let's look at the rating, shall we?
Let's go.
Slugs on Rotten Tomatoes currently has 29% rotten, but with only 7 reviews, so take it with a grain of salt.
Yes.
Do you know what the audience gave it?
Ooh, 25.
31% rotten with 2,500 plus reviews.
Dude, I thought you were going to tell me 80% fresh. I was
Absolutely
like, oh,
not.
buckle up. Because
Absolutely
I know
not.
they're trying to play this like this is some kind of cult classic. No, The Night of the Comet. That's a cult classic.
That's a cult classic. Agreed.
This is not. This is not. There was no pineal gland.
Is that too much to ask? Right?
Yeah.
Give me a little pineal.
No, this is not Flesh for Frankenstein. This is not that interesting.
Let's take a look at these not so top critics. I'm just going to pick a couple just for shits and giggles. Mike Massey from Gone with the Twins says, to think that all of this is based on a novel.
I don't even know what that means. What does that mean?
That's the name of his website.
Like he absorbed his twin. He killed his twin.
I'm not asking, and he ain't telling. To think that all this is based on a novel and not some real life event, as other bad horror movies would have audiences believe.
Based on a true story. I once found a slug in my yard.
There's a slug in my boot. Christopher McKell of Cineview says, its favoring of visceral revulsion over dramatic tension may deter general audiences, but for fans of the ludicrous and the gross, Slugs has much to offer. Okay. How about that?
How about it?
Now, let's put all that aside and get down to business with our real in-house movie critic, AI Rex Reed. Let's see what he has to say.
Let's go, brother. Don't hold back.
Slugs is a slime code. Excuse me. I can't even get through this. Slugs is a slime-soaked exercise in bad taste where carnivorous garden pests ooze through a plot thinner than their own trail, proving that even B movies can scrape the bottom of the compost heap.
Whatever. I already tuned out halfway through.
In Spain, this is called muerte viscosa, which means slimy death. How about that?
I mean, quite frankly, I like that better than Slugs.
I can't disagree. What is your rating of Slugs?
Quite frankly, it's not viscous enough. Really, if I was to redo that, I would play upon the slime more. Like it's sticky or something, so people get trapped. That would make more sense to me.
Okay.
But I assume any movie in the late 70s, 80s, everybody's just high on cocaine, having a good time.
Fair.
Logic doesn't need to get in the way. Um, I was desperate for the commercials so I could pick up my phone. There were, honest to God, parts I missed. At one point, I did have to rewind because my phone was much more interesting than whatever the hell was going on here. I mean, not that many people died considering there's 10,000 slime balls. I mean, quite frankly, I'm not even sure that half these people we saw died, anyone even knew they died.
Well, no, the cops, this is kind of the thing where they keep running from house to house going, "Oh, we found another body. Found another body." The wacky deputy literally goes, "We haven't had a murder here in 40 years, and now we got 20." Yeah, you think there'd be some questions.
Is that be concerning in any way
You'd
whatsoever?
think. You'd think. Sweet
I mean,
Jesus.
is it do we think it's a murder where everybody is just pretty much melted, or okay.
Unclear. Food
Okay,
poisoning.
friends. As you may or may not have guessed, not a big fan. I don't want to kill anyone's fun, but I'm going to give it like a 2.5.
I'm going even lower than you. I'm giving it a 2.0 out of 5. It's kind
Now I
of
want to change
boring.
mine. Now I want to change mine.
Oh
I
shit.
agree
Okay.
with you. I
Fair.
was like, let's go.
Let's go. No,
I agree.
It's
craptastic. It has a right to exist.
It does.
It doesn't need. We don't need to storm the Library of Congress and burn the last Super
Have
8
you heard
copy
the
of it.
people singing the song of Angry Men?
Angry Men.
No, it's like I said, it's storming the Bastille. It is mostly boring, punctuated by moments of just gross. Is how I would describe it.
Yeah, it wasn't that gross to me. I mean, it's not Fulci.
It's not Fulci.
goddamn sure, but
No.
it was mostly boring.
Yeah,
it was mostly boring.
Fair.
That is the cardinal sin.
I would say take a pass on this one. If somebody asked, I would say, no, we don't need that. If you want sluggy,
they're trying to say it's like a cult classic because of the bad acting, shitty storylines, and bad special effects. I'm like, that's not what makes things a cult classic.
I agree.
Just being shitty is not enough.
If you want sluggies, go see Night of the Creeps. That's what I tell people. Creep it out. So
creep it out. And if you want pineal glands, where do I go?
Reanimator, of course. Any last thoughts of Slugs? I feel
like that and Basket Case, I'm liking more and more over time.
Basket Case is not very good. Don't fall into that trap. Okay.
He has a little potato brother in a basket. Oh, how God. Sweet is that?
You'll be saying in 5 years, you'll be saying Slugs is starting to warm on me. No can do.
Now you know I'm ready for the home. That's the sign. That's the test.
Sweet Jesus. Any last thoughts before we move on?
I've already started to forget.
Fair. So, thank you very much. We are across the social media landscape. We're on Threads. We're on Blue Sky. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. You can watch us on YouTube if you'd like. Our smiling faces. Woohoo! You can email us at the podcast that wouldn't die at Gmail. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere the finer podcasts are available. So don't forget to like, share, rate, and review. Won't you?
Won't you please?
Aaron, what is your social media situation?
Got some work on the old Artsy and First Dibs, Aaron Doherty, Instant Dreams Gallery. I am on the gram. The Cult of Aaron. Join the cult. And I am the administrator of our TikTok. Go check it out.
Faux show. As you know, we like to check in with our friends and family across the social media landscape. Aaron, what are the streets saying?
Well, Smarty McGee wanted to know why Kevin keeps picking shitty movies. They're very protective of me, Kevin. They don't want me to have to stay up late at night and have dreams of shitty movies with slugs. And I agree, Smarty McSmartle.
Fair.
Then there was Timmy O'Toole wrote in wanting to know what's wrong with the algorithms on TikTok. It's because our Chinese overlords are no longer in charge, so everything is worse. Facts.
Can't say I disagree. Can't say I disagree. It's a sad, sad situation. Now, next week, we'll be discussing the science fiction classic Ex Machina, starring.
Excuse me.
Go ahead.
I thought I put my foot down over science fiction for a while after the 3 god-awful science films I just watched.
They don't go to space in this one. Okay?
Well, then that's something. That's something.
It stars Alicia Vikander, Domhnall Gleeson, and Oscar Isaac. So
I've heard of Oscar Isaac.
You've seen them all.
Although I did not care for him in Frankenstein.
Fair. Where can you watch Ex Machina? That's an amazing question.
That's a fair question.
It is. It is on.
Do I gotta spend another $4 to watch this gosh darn movie?
Anything's possible, but it's on Netflix. It's on HBO Max with subscription. How about that?
Well, I subscribe to both.
Otherwise, you can rent it for $2.99 on Prime Video, Fandango, Apple TV, yada yada. You can buy it like the DVD for $6.99.
Is that what you're going to do? You're going to buy it?
I don't know. We'll see. See how I feel. So check it out. Send in your favorite scenes, favorite quotes, comments, and questions, and we may talk about it on the show. So
I'm just going to go off a little bit here.
Please.
When I was in Europe, having a record player is very popular.
Phonograph, Victrola.
Not popular. But CDs are the thing now. First it was everybody wanted to shoot analog cameras. Now all those little cool Nikon Coolpix from like the 90s, the early 2000s, that's all the rage. CDs are all the rage. But that's not to say I see people at estate sale walking out with boxes of VHS tapes. And my TikTok feeds are literally people going to Goodwill and stocking up on VHS tapes. And what are they? They're always horror films.
It's a thing.
I remember you couldn't watch Willow.
Right.
Like you saw it in the theater, and then it was the 2 main characters. Who was that? It's Mr. Star Wars and who?
George Lucas and Ron Howard.
And Ron Howard were in legal battles. So it was the movie was not going to be released. Oh. So I had to find an early eBay, this old bootleg copy. That was the only way to watch it back in the day.
Love Willow. Love it.
Love Willow. Love Willow.
Well, thank you for that little anecdote.
There you go.
Before we leave.
That's why I'm here.
Before we leave, we have been guests on a multiple podcasts lately. You need to go check out Antonio on the Cultworthy Cinema podcast, where we are guests talking about Congo. We're on our buddy Andrew's amazing podcast, Stamper Cinema, where we talk about Deep Red. And then, of course, the podcast In the Woods, where we will talk a little more about slugs. So enjoy. Thank you very much.
All good people.
All good people. So thank you very much. And be well.
I say good day.